Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And we have news of the Flybywire A380 after a long silence. We have some very cool hand controls coming out, updates on the 777, and more. So stick around.
If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkill's tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below.
All right, you guys. So first up, I want to say I apologize for the hiatus in content creation, both on Patreon and here on YouTube. Unfortunately, I had a business trip as well as I have been under the weather ever since. So it's been quite the battle the last few days, but hopefully you guys are able to tolerate this wonderful sick voice and we can get through it. So starting right out with the big one, Flybywire has released some teaser shots of their upcoming A380. As you guys know, they've been very, very quiet lately. We haven't heard much from them in quite a long time in regard to the A380 as far as any posts or updates. Now, there isn't anything new on the information as far as updates, release time, things like that. So hopefully things are coming along very nicely. This is the first time, though, that I've seen textures of this modeling that we've seen inside the simulator. You can see the aircraft is certainly coming together very, very nicely. I cannot wait to get my hands on this aircraft. This is probably one of, if not my personal most anticipated aircraft to hit the market. It's such an immense plane. And I think it'll be a great time inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, the A380 has been on development for quite a long time. I think the first initial release or announcement that of its creation, I think, was probably coming up on 2 years ago now. So it's definitely been a long time. However, this is another freeware project, you guys. And they are obviously having to build it completely from the ground up, as there aren't any A380 models that are worth discussing inside the simulator. So everything had to be designed, developed, and put together from the ground up. So just the fact that we're starting to see it inside the simulator, the fact that we're able to see a flight plan listed in the computer there with an actual A380 screens, brings me a bit more hope. I really hope that 2024 brings this aircraft to life. Who knows? Maybe that'll be part of the whole Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 release. Hopefully they can hit a target. That'd be kind of a neat way to start out for Flybywire with Microsoft 2024. As you guys know, 2024 has stated that if you have an add-on that's compatible with 2020, 2024 should have no issues there. So who knows? That's just speculation, but cross your fingers. JK Tools, a company I've never actually heard of, but released their first add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm actually wondering if they're maybe the same ones who did this for X-Plane, but I have been waiting for this particular add-on for a very, very long time. They have released what are they calling VDGS, which I believe is Visual, what is it? Visual Docking Guidance System, I believe is what it is. And what it is it puts up these guys right here. You can see that allows you to, from a pilot's perspective, park the aircraft. As you guys know, you don't always get a marshaller, so not having any kind of a marshalling system sometimes makes it very difficult and can break the immersion because you have to continuously go inside and outside the cockpit in order to properly park an airliner in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Well, now they're going to have this, and they've already confirmed it works for all third-party and default Microsoft Flight Simulator airports. Any airport that has a terminal parking for an airliner or a tube jet, I should say, this add-on will work, as well as it also has customizable tools within inside of it, so you can actually refine it if, let's say, a particular parking spot that you enjoy is not quite right. So this is something that, excuse me, this is something that I have been waiting for a very, very long time. Now, the other thing that's really cool about it is I believe it identifies your aircraft as you're pulling up to it, so it sort of tells you where you're at based on the type of plane you're flying. Now, the other catch to this that's really awesome about it is that you don't have to have a specific gate assigned. So you don't have to be using any kind of ATC program or anything like that, which means I imagine some sort of system where it triggers based on your distance to a certain, designator here, one of these things. And then it just starts tracking your aircraft. So it's a really, really slick thing. Again, I had something similar in X-Plane 11. I don't know if this is the exact same one. It might be. That would certainly make sense. You guys can actually get it for 1885 euros on the sim market. So make sure you guys check that out. I will definitely be picking this up. You guys will definitely see it here on the channel. I've been waiting for something like this for a very, very long time. So this is really cool. So next up on the list is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now, I mentioned this briefly when I came back from Flight Sim Expo 2023 out in Houston. I had a chance to play around with this. This is called the YAWMAN Arrow. And what this is basically a hand controller that is designed specifically around flight simulation. Okay, so you have everything from trim wheels to throttles to propeller pitch, mixture, all kinds of different indicator buttons buttons that you can change up and play around with, set up as your lights and things like that. It's got a bunch of pre-configurations that are already set for it. Now, this is releasing, I believe, on January the 5th. Don't quote me that. January the 5th. It might be the 8th. But here's the thing that I want to tell you guys about it. I actually have the privilege of having one of these actually being sent to me. And we're going to be able to do a full review. Now, I will not be able to release that review. I'm going to give you guys a heads up until January the 5th. And I really like their reason why. There's nothing else that I have to say. There is no scripting, nothing like that. The reason why they have a no publicity on it until the 5th is because they want to make sure that we as testers get the full use out of it. Truly actually dive into it and make sure that it's all working. Really get to experience it, get comfortable with it, especially coming from your hands-on stick and throttle like I use. I use a HOTAS 90% of the time when I fly, or at least something comparable, maybe the Bravo and a flight stick. But it does take some getting used to. But one of the things about this that really, really, I've been following this ever since we left the expo. I've been staying in touch with the developer. So it's been about 6 to 8 months now, whatever that would be. June is when we were there. So yeah, 6 months. Now, one of the things the reason why I've been following this is because it really brings a lot of purpose with its utility, right? So how you're seeing it here is a perfect example. If you're limited on space, or you're someone like myself who's also a content creator, or maybe you're testing something real quick, or maybe you're just doing a video that doesn't require the full shebang. The other thing is, like, if you're someone like I have a good friend of mine who his cockpit is upstairs up in his attic, and sometimes he wants to fly on his laptop down with his wife and family. This is a perfect tool for him where he can bring it down on his laptop. He doesn't have to have the space for the whole HOTAS setup and blah, blah, blah. So they really appealed to me here because it wasn't just another Xbox controller. It was something that was designed, again, specifically around flight simulation. So it went far beyond the Xbox layout. Now you guys can see it definitely has a similar sort of ergonomic as the Xbox controller, but obviously far more capability. You can see there's many more buttons on it, many more access on it, and different configuration options. So I'm really excited to get my hands on this, you guys. I can tell you that it is in the mail. It is on its way to me. And again, after January 5th, I will be able to release a full review of this and giving you guys my final thoughts. I will be using the you-know-what out of it up until the point that I have authorization to release my video. So you guys will get to hear the pros, the cons, the goods, the uglies, you guys name it. But I want you guys to be aware of this because this really has a lot of purpose. It really depends on what you're doing with it. And even if you have the full cockpit setup, this could be something that you're interested in as well. Or maybe that you're someone, again, who wants to be like a mobile player, be able to fly on the laptop or something like that. So anyway, I wanted you guys to be aware this was on its way. Again, it's supposed to be released, I believe, in the first or second week of January. And I will give you guys a ton of information before its release date once that embargo is lifted. So stay tuned for that. And finally, last on our list tonight is the PMDG 777. Last week, we saw some teaser videos. It was literally just, looks like the main landing gear that we saw of the aircraft actually inside the simulator. Well, this week, you guys can see we get an interior shot very clearly, first class of the 777, and once again, inside a Microsoft Flight Simulator, but there's even better news here. The better news is that it has been confirmed that the 777 has already entered beta testing, meaning that we could see the 777 in our hands probably far earlier than I think any of us expected. Now, beta means that they're you know what follows after beta. After betas is a bug hunt, right? So betas are going to be used to bring in a crap ton of bugs, crap ton of issues, and all of those are going to have to be addressed. But beta sign is a good sign. So I'm really crossing my fingers. The other thing that we got a real quick tidbit about the aircraft that has yet to be officially confirmed in production, right? Is the 738 or 737-800 Max. So one of the really cool things about that is that it is literally Robert Randazzo has all but said that it's being built, but a sharp-eyed Discord user on their on the FS Elite's website was able to see an aircraft B738 Mike on the Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer pages or world. Now, the reason why that's a big deal is B738M is the ICAO designation for the 737-800 MAX. So for those of you who might have been waiting for that aircraft, that could be good news for you as well. Not sure if I'm going to pick that one up or not. I'm sort of happy with the 737 series that I have, but I will definitely be grabbing the 777. So we have the 777, hopefully on a rollout soon. A380, probably a bit farther out than I would imagine the 777 is. We have that YAWMAN Arrow on its way, guys. I'll have a full review for you guys on that and much, much more. We have more news coming around the bend here, so stick around for the channel. We have some flights we're doing. We're going to be doing a full tutorial on spad.next over the next 24 hours. If you guys are interested in checking that out, it will be available. As always, my friends, stay safe and healthy. It's good to hear from you again. I'll see you in the next one.